How is Jacob Taylor only 22 points behind Kai Leng? I know it was pretty unfair of me to match these three against him, but not a single vote for Ashley? Clearly Mass Effect fans have their priorities straight. Greetings, Spacefarers, I'm Mykul. Recently on this channel I have been polling the community on a relatively controversial subject. Who is the most hated character in Mass Effect? Today I thought it would be a fun exercise to go over my reasoning for the choices that I gave throughout the duration of this community poll. But firstly, allow me to explain the format. I decided that grouping all of the choices into one poll would not sufficiently reveal the truth of the matter. When faced with 16 choices and the number of likely voters, the results would tend to average out into far too many competing majorities. So to really narrow it down, I thought it would work best to provide you with 4 competing brackets, with the winners moving on to a final poll. A poll that would represent a fair pool of the most hated characters according to the channel community. We haven't run the final poll yet, as I thought it would be useful to make this video first explaining all of this, and just why each group of 4 were pitted against each other. Also, if there's enough interest, we could livestream the final poll. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. So moving on. The first bracket is fairly self-explanatory. I chose 3 of the original trilogy's major villains, and filled the last spot with a character that is often hated not because of their traits, but because of what they meant to the story. Udina, Saren, and the Elusive Man are all fantastic characters who players may hate by design, but the catalyst, well, let's not go there. I'm fairly confident most will understand what makes this character such a contentious subject. I mean, just look at these results. The Elusive Man didn't even get a single vote, which just shows how excellent of a character he is, and it looks like Saren pretty much got the exact same treatment. But Udina, that SOB always was power hungry, but this? Fortunately, he still blew the Starchild out of the water, but 31% of the vote is quite the indictment. The second bracket is a little less evident. Given the way Udina cleaned up in the first poll, I adapted the second poll to feature a list of more unassuming characters, whom have less impact on the story, but often find themselves rubbing Shepard the wrong way on multiple occasions. Erdnot Reeve, for instance, is unambiguously a lunatic, Harkin is just a giant piece of shit, Councillor Sparatus did that whole air quotes meme thing that everyone hated, and as for Dalatrash Linren, well, she's just awful. I hoped this would keep the results close, and though everyone did end up getting a vote this time round, I did secretly let out a sigh of relief when the Dalatrash took a convincing lead. Congrats, Disorderlies, you understood the assignment. Round 3 was the closest by far. In fact, the winner was decided by 1 vote, so whoever that was, you are now a legend to this channel. Once again, there aren't particularly any characters here who would be hated purely because of bad writing or anything, though one of them doesn't get off that easily. I'm looking at you, my face is tired lady. Foster Addison is also just an irritating character by design, and that is pretty much what I felt defined this bracket. These 4 are despised typically because they are characters who all have, forgive my bluntness, a punchable face. I'm sure everyone has done some sort of renegade action against Rana, Geralt, and Brooks at least once.
No! No!
I'm just sad that we never got that sort of opportunity with Mrs. Death Stare here. And finally, this is the Let's Make My Subscribers Uncomfortable poll. This was a cheeky final bracket, I have to admit. I specifically chose 3 characters that we're not supposed to hate and threw them into the ring with a character that not only are we supposed to hate, but is also a character that many wish didn't exist and basically could have fit anywhere in the previous polls and still won. He's irritating, he's a main villain, his writing is questionable, and I'm talking of course about Kai Leng. It was a little sadistic of me because Jacob, Ashley, and Kaidan are some of the most notoriously disliked Mass Effect characters in the entire franchise. And for so many personal reasons. Blandness, tokenism, bigotry, and even one of them will willingly cheat on Shepard if you romance them, and there isn't a single thing that the player can do about it. So forcing you to choose between probably the most detestable character that BioWare has ever committed to code and these 3 was something I thought was a stroke of genius. Oh, never mind, Kai Leng won. Though Jacob wasn't that far behind, just look at some of these comments, they are pretty savage. This isn't just my channel either, you can go to any video, any article, and see endless comments of people trying to justify and rationalize why they think Jacob is just the absolute worst. And at the very least, if he's not the worst character ever, I can understand why many believe him to be the worst squad mate. The poor man really does get a lot of hate. So there it is. I thought it would be fun to engage with you wonderful folks with something other than a typical video, and it went quite well. I couldn't have been happier with the responses. Look. Okay. Say hello to Clyde. This is MTJ Disorder's new resident kitty cat, and he's a shoulder person. He absolutely loves chilling up on my shoulder. Listen to him purr. Again, if you'd like to do this final poll live, let me know in the comments and I can certainly make that happen. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and a huge shout out to our first and only channel member, Crimson Striker, the MVP of the channel. Keep us alive, my friends, and until next time,
I should go.